Good morning, everybody. Just logging on. Sorry, we're a couple of minutes late, but I am here. This is Diane Henderson. Nice to be with you this morning. Hi, Jen. I'm glad. Okay, good. We've got people coming on. That's so awesome. Yeah, we're going to get started pretty quick just because we're a couple of minutes late, but that's okay. I am going to do two projects today. The first one's going to take a little bit longer, so we're going to work on that one first, and then we'll work on our cute little froggy card here too. If we don't get to them, because I do like to take time, I've had a lot of people that I've been speaking to in the store and that as well that appreciate that. They'd like to be able to take their time as well. So we'll work on it, but I do have written instructions and I do have the picture that I'll post afterwards as well. And then I do have an inspiration card that I have also put together that I will post later on too. I always like to make sure that I haven't used anything that Courtney will use this afternoon in her video, which will be at 5 o'clock Pacific time. So I always want to make sure that I haven't used anything. I don't think I have because we touch base, but I always like to make sure that I haven't used anything that she has. And her, I've seen a sneaky peek of her stuff. It's amazing. So if you don't get a chance to tune in later on, make sure that you watch it on replay because it'll be fabulous as well. So yeah, we're going to get started. I hope everyone's having a nice Thursday morning. And it is bright here right now, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to put our little froggy guy here off to the side. And this card here I did a little bit different just so that I always try and come up with something different for you as well. Of course, it has an embossing folder, but it was included. And also, you know me. So anyways, this one is a little trifold. So I've done it this way, so you've got like a tri-fold that it opens up, and then the flip inside is also decorated, and then your cover is decorated. So we're gonna play around with this one to begin with, and then we'll go from there. So what I need you to grab is two of your card bases. So you have these awesome cards that Spellbinders always puts in to their kits, which are great. I don't always use them, but this time I thought I would. And the other thing I always want to mention too is they are awesome to emboss. The paper is so good. It takes the embossing so well. So if you have extras left over from any of your kits in the past, pull them out and use them for embossing because they really are a great card to or great paper to emboss. It just takes it a little bit. It's not very thick, which is nice, so it doesn't add a lot of weight to your card front and that kind of thing too. So anyways, so we are going to play with this. So I'm just going to put it off to the side. I'll just double check that I'm in view, and then we're going to go step by step, but we're going to start first of all by building our base. So I've got that here on my little card. And let me bring it down a bit. There we go. So we're going to build our base. So grab two of your card bases, okay? So you've got two cards. So you've got this one and this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to just stick them together. So you're taking a fold like this one here. Bring it in a little bit. Fold and fold. Okay, just like that. And all you're doing is taking the second one and just sliding it to the back. Okay, so now when we go to build this, here's your fold, here's your cover. So just like that. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you can just pull them apart, and you're just going to put some glue or tape runner or whatever you want, just flat, onto this, just to stick those together. So I just always find these handy dandy little tape runners are very convenient, easy to use, and are refillable, which is always great. So you're going to now take your card and you're just going to put it right onto the fold. It's easier for me to pick it up and do it. And that, again, is just going to form your trifold. So all you have is basically double in the middle. There's your flip, there's your cover. So just like that. And I did put it down here that these are 4 1/4 folded by 5 1/2. Those are already done for you, but I just wanted you to have the dimensions if you go to recreate the little trifold again. So that's why I put the runners there, and to use your tape runner to put together. So I'm just going to move this off to the side. And again, if anybody has any questions afterwards, you're always welcome to get in touch with me. I'm always happy to answer questions afterwards too. Okay, so now we're going to do our cover. Let me just get this guy over here, bring him down. There we go. Okay, so we're going to grab a piece of white cardstock. I asked you in homework just to have, for your supplies, just to have some extra white cardstock. So we are going to, I'm just going to put my little card off here to the side, grab my trimmer, and we are going to cut a piece of white cardstock 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, so 4 1/8 is just between the 4 and the 4 1/4 mark on your trimmer. So just like that, 4 1/8. And as you probably have noticed, a lot of the times I use my 8ths a lot. I think Courtney does quarters quite a bit, but I use 8ths just because I really, in a lot of cases, just want a tiny little border on things. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 is where we're going to cut it. Okay, so now we're left with a piece just like that, your rectangular piece. And as you can see, that really does have just a tiny little border from our card. So just like that. Now I used, and I'll tell you the paper that I used as we go along, because these kits only have one sheet of these of the pattern papers. Courtney and I always touch base to make sure that we are only using, I'm using whatever I'm using and she's using it, just because it's hard. We don't want you to use all the pattern paper up with me and Courtney goes to do something and I've used it all. So we do try and touch base on it. So the one that I used in the, and just grab your card, you have so many cute little pattern pieces, and you're welcome to use whatever you want. But the one that I used was this kind of peachy and pink plaid. So that's the one that's on the outside of the card here. So I'm just going to use a rando piece just because, obviously I've already used mine, but I'm just going to use one just so I can cut along with you to make sure that you're okay with us doing it. So I'll just use this green one, but that's the one that I used, was that checky peach and pink one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is cut the patterned piece, the peach and pink, to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, so again, it's going to be a very tiny little border of that white cardstock that we just cut a couple of minutes ago. 4 by 5 1/4, just like that. Okay, so again, you're going to adhere this to the white piece that we cut a second ago and just do that one flat. So if you want to just, again, use your tape runner or your glue or whatever you're comfortable with, go right ahead. And we'll just stick those guys together. And I think what we'll do is we'll do our die cuts at the end, but we'll do all of our pieces for the different layers for the card first. And then we can, do our little die cuts afterwards. So there we go. So we just have a very tiny little border of the white with the pattern paper on top. And this to me just gives it the stability to now go onto your card. You could eliminate that white and go directly onto it if you wanted to, but I always find it gives that little bit of stability on the top. Okay, so what I did, so here's our trifold that we have started. This is our cover. And I put this piece onto the cover of my trifold card. And I used foam tape, foam squares, foam strips, whatever you want to use. It just gives it a little bit of extra oomph. So I just use my little foam squares and it just pops it up a little bit. that. And there we go. Okay, so we've just got our foam squares on there. Put these guys over here. I just love this kit. This is a just an amazing kit. Spellbinders just does it so well, and the die cuts are so cute. The pattern paper is so cheery, and to have that embossing folder that Courtney and Deanna were able to put into it is just amazing. And we still have some kits left. I'm not sure if Courtney does, but we do here at Clipper Street. So you can always don't comment on this because I don't necessarily, we might not see it afterwards. But then you can always call the store and we can put one aside for you as well. If you need a gift for somebody, what a great gift with that embossing folder and all the little extra guys too. Everybody's doing okay. I'm just going to take a quick look. Lovely cards, thank you. And Rosie, yeah, I agree. A lot of people do it on replay, and that way you can stop when you need to. That's the fantastic part about the virtual classes and the virtual crafty hours. It just makes it so much easier for you. I love it. Okay, so now in homework, I had asked for you to have 2 pieces of the embossing folder. And I think in homework I did say you could use the card bases that you got, and that's what I did. So like I say, the paper is just awesome to emboss with. You could do it on your own cardstock, you could do it in colored cardstock, whatever you wanted to do. But now we're going to just attach one of those embossed pieces. And again, you can see that all it's done is give a little bit of a border around the outside of it. Okay, and I attached it with my foam squares as well, just to pop it off the card. But it just is a beautiful, beautiful embossing folder. And of course, all Spellbinder embossing folders are my absolute favorite because they really do emboss so, so well. Okay, so we'll just put our little foam squares on here again, and we're going to attach that to the front. So this way we've already done our cover except for our die cuts. So but we're going to just do all of our little pieces for the flip and also for the inside of the card. And then that way you can, we can do the die cuts too. And again, up to you. The one thing about the Spellbinders kits is they always include 2 of all of the die cuts, which is just fantastic, because then Courtney and I don't even have to worry about, are you using this or using that? We know that you have enough to play with me and enough to play with Courtney with them as well. And you can mix them up. You can do whatever you'd like to do with them as well. It's just a really cool kit. So there you go. So that now has popped the embossing folder onto the top of the card. So now we'll open it up. Okay. And this is what I call the flip. And then the inside is the 3 pieces here. So we're now going to decorate the flip. So I'll get this instruction sheet out of the way. And I'll put this one here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do, what size is the trifold piece? So the trifold piece basically is the 2 cards put together. So I think what I said on my first sheet that I pulled out, these are 4 1/4 folded by 5 1/2. So basically you're just sticking the 2 of them together. So if I measured this trifold, let me just grab this out here. It is, see, it's like almost 13 inches, about 12 3/4 inches long. And that's why it's nice to have those 2 cards going together, because of course, if you were working even with a 12 by 12 sheet, it would be a little bit less. You could work with it, you just have to figure out your dimensions in it as well. So that's why I thought this was just so easy to put together when the cards were already cut and scored for you. So that's a cool way to be able to do a little trifold card. Okay, so let's get on to the flip. So we're going to cut another piece of white cardstock, just like we did for the front. And it's going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, so just grab your cardstock and 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3. That's great, Diana. Thanks for asking that question, because trifolds are kind of, when you're not working with the pre-done cards, it is kind of hard to be able to get the dimensions completely right. So this is a fun and easy way to be able to put them together. Okay, so there's your white piece that's going to go on the flip. This is our flip that I was talking about. So there's your cover, and this is your flip. And now we're going to cut the patterned piece, the pink with the trees. And the one that I mean about that is, let me here, I have a scrap piece of it. This was the one that I used, the pink with the trees, the cute little trees. And that formed my border for the inside flip. So I kind of kept it in the same color palette, but when you don't have the two sheets, this is kind of how you would improvise. You would just grab another sheet of the pretty cardstock. And again, you're welcome to do whatever you like. So I'm just going to grab another random piece because I have used mine for the sample. So we're going to cut the pattern piece again, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So whichever piece of pattern paper you want to use, just keeping in mind that Courtney will also be using pattern paper in her live today. Okay, so 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. There we go. So again, we're just going to glue this flat, doesn't matter which way I have it, to our cardstock piece. So again, we've got just a little bit of a border, and again, it just gives that little bit of extra stability for it as well. So I'm just going to stick those together. I just think this is an awesome way to do a little card where you can be, and I'll show you the finished idea, to be enclosing like a gift card or a couple of gift cards or a little photo or something as well. So there's our pink. So this is our flip that I showed you. So now what I did though for this one is, whereas on the top we did foam tape underneath, this one I just went directly flat onto the flip, only because I didn't want it to be too bulky. I don't want it to be flipped up like this. So I went directly with this piece onto the flip piece with just glue. So this is what I'm meaning. There's our flip, and I'm just going to stick it directly onto there, not use foam tape. Okay, so now I'll just grab my runner. There we go. And we'll just stick it onto the flip. Just like that. So again, it still gives it that pretty paper border, but we're not adding the bulk to it with putting foam tape in behind it. Okay, so then the next piece is just your other embossed piece. So I'd asked you to have 2 of them dry embossed and cut to size. This one I did put onto my flip, leave that open that way, onto the flip with foam tape. So it gives it that little bit of pop-up, but not as many layers as we did on the front. Okay, so you can grab your foam tape or foam squares and just add that guy. Oops, want it hanging over. There we go. I like the thickness of these foam squares too. These are the ones from Scrapbook Adhesives. I know Deanna uses them all the time. Courtney does as well. And they just have a nice, a really nice thickness to them. They're not too thick, but they do definitely give the dimension. Size of the embossed piece. So the embossed piece that we cut Let me just see if I can find my sheet that I had from homework. I had it here somewhere. Here we go. So in the homework, I had asked for open flat, cut 2 pieces of the paper, 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So that's what the dimensions were for the embossed piece. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop this onto my patterned piece. And again, it is different than what you have. We use the little trees in yours. This one is just what I use, just so I can show you as we go along here. Okay. And then, I think I have it on my sheet here. Okay, we'll do the other stuff. Yeah, let's just keep going with our bases here, and then we'll be along, and then we can do our little square here and add our die cuts afterwards. Okay, so let's now open our trifold up. So now you've got the 3 pieces, okay, just like this. And we are going to, let me move my inside flip, and this one is considered inside. So I had asked you to grab some gold foil paper as well. So we're going to cut 3 pieces of gold foil, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So whichever one you have, you may have the smaller pieces. You may have the 6 by 6 that we have also sold recently in the Miri. You could also use glitter paper, whatever you want to use. But this is the one that I used. Was just the gold foil, the bigger sheets. Okay, so 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Not quite 5 1/2, just under. Okay, there's 2 pieces. And then I'll just grab another sheet and do the 3rd. And I tell you, I always keep the scraps that I have from these gold sheets, because you can always use, you know, tiny little things to be able to mat things or anything. Always comes in handy. Okay, so there's our 3 pieces of gold foil for the inside. Oops, I need to move this over a tiny bit. There we go. And 3 pieces of white cardstock we're going to cut now as well. Okay, so we want 3 pieces that are 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And these are just going to form a nice little base for the inside. You could eliminate it. You wouldn't even have to do it if you didn't want to. But I just always think it adds a little bit of extra, especially the gold. You know, you can see the shine on that and that. It's just so pretty. I love the mirrored paper. Okay, so we want 3 pieces like that. And all we're going to do with these, plain and simple, we are just going to glue them together flat and attach them to the inside of the card flat. So I'm still cutting my cardstock, which is the 4 by 5 1/4. And we need 3 pieces of those. Oops. And again, this is going to form a very tiny border. We don't need anything too big. You could make it bigger if you wanted to. If you wanted to have a little bit wider, if you wanted to see a little bit more of that gold, then you could definitely do that as well. But there's our 3 pieces and our 3 pieces of gold. Okay, so we're just going to grab our runner and just quickly attach those together flat. And the reason I did it flat again is just like I said about the flip, you don't want to add too much bulk. So if you put these on with foam tape or foam squares, you're definitely going to add more bulk, and it's not going to close quite as, you know, quite as flat as you may like it. So this is our inside of our card. There's our cover, there's our flip, and then these 3 pieces are just going to attach to the inside. Okay, and again, flat. Super quick. And I mean, I could see doing a bunch of these if you were doing them for an event or something like that. You know, to have on a table, people could put their own photos into it. It would be really a neat kind of little gift idea, table favor or whatever too, just to put on there. Okay, so there's our 3 pieces of gold and the white cardstock. And now we're just going to glue those flat to the inside of our card. Just make sure you've got it. Okay, so just take that. Charlotte, when you say what is the length of the trifold itself, the base? Is that what you're meaning? Just let me know. Okay, so just you want to make sure, obviously, that it's not on the fold. Make sure you've got it centered on there. Same as this one. Sometimes it's hard to see. So you want to make sure you've got it so you're not catching the fold. Go, and our third one. So there is your base completely done. So all we're gonna do now is just do our little decorating with our die cuts. And again, if it's not die cuts that you want to use something extra, you are more than welcome to do that. These are always just ideas that we come up with, and then you can use your creativity to do it exactly how you would like to have it. Okay, so here we go. So we've got our top, we've got our flip, and we've got our base. So that's all put together now. Okay, and what I would do when I completed this as well, I would probably tie a little bow or something around it just to be able to, you know, give it as a nice little presentation. But you don't have to. I mean, it stays fairly flat when it's done as well. Okay, so let's do our instructions here. So let's grab our die cuts. So the die cuts for the cover, these are the guys that I had asked you to get. This is the cute little teapot and this sort of spriggy guy. Just so pretty. Okay, and again, up to you. If you want to do more layers, if you want to do however you want to do it, you can, you know, start with whatever you want to do and go from there, like Diane always does with the stuffing and that kind of thing. You've got lots of little guys in this kit to be able to do that. Okay, so we're going to attach the die cuts. So I attached the teapot towards the bottom of the card. Again, after I had stuck it down, I sort of thought, you know what, I could have brought that up a little bit more. It doesn't necessarily have to be down in that corner. It could be sort of more central. So however you want to do it, you can do it wherever you'd like to have it. I just put it on with foam tape, but I made sure my foam tape was really just down at the bottom because we want to kind of stuff at the top of the teapot. So I just put my little foam squares kind of just down near the bottom of the teapot. Another one could go there. And again, decide where you'd like to have it. Where I put it on my sample was down in the corner, but now I'm kind of thinking, you know, it would be kind of neat to have it a little bit further up. So wherever you'd like to position it, go right ahead and stick that guy on. And then the rest of them, I kind of just poked in. I kind of did the whole little stuffing idea. And I bring that over a little bit too, because even the one that I did here for my sample, I feel like this little guy is over a little bit much. So when I go to open this quite often, it will fold in. So you may want to move it over just a tiny bit, kind of what I did here. It's not quite on the side. It's just kind of more in the center. Okay, and then the rest of them, I didn't put foam tape on anything except for the little envelope. Everything else is just sort of glued at the bottom and poked in. And if you feel like they're hanging out too much or anything like that, clip the bottom of them. You'll never see the bottom, so you can always just you know, clip the bottom stem off. You're not going to see it anyhow, and then that way it kind of stuffs in a little bit more. So I started with the little heart guy, and I just kind of push it down just for a second. But this glue, I use the Nouveau glue. I really like it, and I find it dries pretty quickly. So, and then you're going to just kind of stuff these little guys wherever you would like to do it. So again, they probably won't look exactly the same as I did it on the sample, but it doesn't really matter. You kind of just play around and add the different layers. And you can definitely add foam tape if you want to have them popped up a little bit more. You can do that as well. So I just kind of went around and kind of positioned all of these little guys right in here. It's just so pretty. It's so springy and pretty. I really like it. Okay, and then this little guy, I just stuck in here. And you can decide how much you want to have it up. If you want to have more of it, you can. And then this cute little lollipop kind of sucker, I just stuck here at the end. And see, so this one isn't going in as far as I would like to have it. So I'll just clip off the bottom of it, because you're, like I say, you're not going to see it anyhow. And then that way you can get it to go in a little bit further for you. And pop that up. And then when you get these all in place with your glue, if you kind of feel, I'd like to have that come up a little bit more, then go ahead and put a little foam square or something in behind it. It's definitely, like I say, whatever you want to do. So then the only one that I did pop up was the cute little envelope. So I just put a foam square in behind that, or foam tape. I hope you can't hear my stomach right now. I don't know why it's growling so much. I did have cereal. Hopefully it's not magnified onto the video. All right. So there's our cute little envelope. And I just put it tag down. Just there's the little tag on it. And again, you can decide exactly where you'd like to have it. If you want to see more of the teapot, which I kind of did on this one, or this one I kind of covered it up a little bit more. Either way, you can put wherever you want. Okay, and then the other thing about this amazing kit is you have all of these guys. So I used, and I won't use another one just in case, like I say, in case Courtney's using them as well. But I used the So Thankful for You, and all I did was I stuck it flat onto the teapot like this, and then put a little piece of foam strip or foam pop dot, whatever, in behind, just so it stays on a level strip for you. So you could just have that coming off here, or because I have moved this one up a little bit more, you could have it down here, or you could use anything else. You've got all of these. You've got the words, the smile, the hello. You've got tons of little chipboard guys that I didn't even go into. So you're able to use whatever, like this one here, which I thought was so cute. The best things in life aren't things. You could have that down here as well. So totally up to you what you would like to have on there as well. Or this one even that says happiness, it's a little bit longer, it would take up a little bit more, so that would be great too. So, and I would put some foam tape in behind it just to pop it up. Then the only other thing I did was I added some of the gold jewels. I always use the fashion gold gems from Spellbinders. These guys, I love them because they come in all the different sizes. So those are great. And I just stuck a few inside the little flowers and I put this on it. This was so neat. And I remember Diana, when she brought out this kit, she said, I wonder what they're gonna do with it. So I just thought it was sort of neat to add just the and sign, and it matched so pretty with the colors. So I just stuck that down here. So you could, if when we were talking about the sentiment, if you wanted to have it off to the side and then your sentiment, whatever you decide to do, you are good to go because you have just so many options with this kit. Okay, so that is our cover done, just like that. The flip, oh, okay, now I'm going to show you this only because we have this card open. Okay, so what I did for this one is I used another sheet, the tulip sheet of paper, and that one is this one here. So there's your pattern piece, just like that. And all I did was I cut the square, so I cut it at 3 inches, or cut a strip 3 inches, and then I cut it 3 inches as well. So now you've got a 3 by 3 inch square. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to form this little pocket inside the card. So all I did was I made sure that my pattern is going to go the right way. So it's just going to go on a diagonal, just like that. So you're going to put it this way on a diagonal, grab your trimmer and just slice it in half. Okay, so this way we know this piece is going the right way for our little pocket. So that is just going to stick right inside here. And the only thing you need to be mindful of is you're just going to put your adhesive here and here, because now this is keeping this open as your little pocket. And you could just add your die cuts to that as well. Again, we'll use whatever ones you wanted. I used the cute little teacup with the birdie on it because I put a little Starbucks card in there. So I thought that tied in well. And then the little flower with a pop dot and the gem. Okay, so that one is totally simple. All I did was I just wanted to make sure that I had my little pocket. So I just put the glue runner like that. This goes in the corner. There we go. And that forms your pocket to be able to stick whatever you want in there. You could put a couple in there. You could do whatever you wanted to. Okay, so that formed our little pocket for the inside. And again, you decide if you want to use different die cuts, you can totally go with that. So now we have our flip. So here's our flip that's sitting open here just like that. And I did the same thing with the flip with the leftover piece of your square that we had on the cover. Okay, so this, it's not showing you because I didn't use it on this, but this is what we used on our cover, and there was a strip left over, a 2-inch strip. So I just did the same thing to decorate the inside of this, just to give it a little bit of extra oomph than not just the die cuts. So again, this is a 2-inch piece. I cut it again at 2 inches. So now it's a square, 2 by 2. And again, I just put it on my trimmer on the diagonal and cut it up. Just like that. And this one doesn't matter so much because there isn't a direct pattern, so it doesn't really matter how it goes. And I didn't use this one as a pocket, so all I do is just adhere it on there. You don't have to worry about where the glue is going to go because it's not a pocket. If you want to make it a pocket, you could do the exact same thing as we did for that inside piece. Okay, so I just stick that in the corner, and I always like to leave a little bit of a white border around the outside. So just like that, it's just got a tiny bit of a border, just gives you a little bit of, again, you can see that embossing folder, so nice there. Okay, and the die cuts that I asked you to grab for this one, super easy. It's just a little heart, and I did it flat, again, because I'm trying not to add too much bulk inside the card. So there's the heart is just gonna go on there flat. So just like that, wherever you want to position it, I'd like to see as much as I can of that pretty little plaid paper square too. So there's your heart. And then this was the other die cut for the flip, was just this cute little flower. And I just put foam tape in behind that. Just one square would be perfect. So it pops up, but because it's not that big, it doesn't really add too much to it. I just put it down here in the corner, and I added a gem to the center. You don't have to if you want to just see the cute little dots. And again, I used this is a happy place to go over here, and I did put some foam strip in behind it just to give it a tiny little bit of the raised up. And I used another one of the little and signs, and I used the pink one. So it matched, this is a happy day, with the pink, the little pink saying and the little pink and sign. Okay, so there you go. So it just looks so pretty even when you open this up. When you see like the pinks and the oranges and you see the little tulip, it's so pretty that way. And now all you're gonna do for this one, so now if you open it up for your trifold, all I did for this one is I made it really easy. I grabbed the little rainbow piece that again was the die cut that was in the kit, and all I did was glue this one flat, because again, I'm trying not to have too much bulk. So you can just glue it on there. I didn't even worry about gluing the whole thing, just the base. And you could make this into a little pocket if you wanted to too, even just a strip of the pattern paper you could put across here. It could be another little pocket if you wanted to make it that way. Okay, and then I did the same thing with the other pocket, and this one I'm just gonna use, even though it's upside down. You should still have, yeah, you do have another square from where we did it before. So again, just keep in mind how the diagonal goes. This is the way we want to put it this time, so that we have the little pocket going this way. Okay, and again, you just want to make sure the adhesive goes just on the diagonal, just like that. And again, I just left a little bit of the border for the background. Okay, so there's your two little pockets, gift cards, and then I added the little dragonfly. That's a little die cut there, and another one of the cute little foam sayings. I put happy times on that one, but again, you can decide whichever one you want to do. And this one, you know me, I have to put them in here somewhere. I would add like a little photo or something like that. That's my adorable little grandson. So I just would pop that in there, or I'd even put a couple of them. I'd have one that way, one this way, and you're able to just stick that in there. So it can, again, be gift cards or photos or whatever you want to do. I just think it's a great way of doing a presentation for somebody. So it's a card and a gift all wrapped up in one. And it was just kind of a fun, a different idea that I thought might be something different for you as well. So that would be where you would stick your cards, your gift cards, your photos, wherever you would want to do that. So you've got your flip inside is decorated, you've got your cover decorated, and I would, like I say, tie some ribbon maybe around it if you wanted to. What a presentation for somebody. It's just a lovely little gift and card all in one. So I knew that one was going to take a lot of our time, so I'm just going to quickly go over Froggy, because I just love these little froggies that we had in this kit too. So I'm just going to put it, everyone's good. Cute new mom card. What an idea for that. That would just be awesome. You could put and for every occasion, think about it, decorating this for Christmas and then having the gift cards and everything inside it too, or lottery tickets or whatever you wanted to do. I just think it's kind of a fun idea to be able to give it to somebody really special. So that's that one there. So I'll just stick that off to the side. This was the one that I showed you at the beginning. And this one was really not that complicated at all to do. So I'm going to just show you this here. Make sure that we get your card base at least done for you. So this one here, I used white cardstock that I had asked you to have on hand. And we did it at 6 1/4 by 10. And then scored it at 5. So a little bit of a unique size card, not quite a 5 by 7. So I've got 6 1/4 by 10. There's our 10. And then we're going to just score it. This is why I love my Spellbinders trimmer, because both blades are right there for me. I just always have to remember which one I'm using, or when I go to score, I'm cutting in and out. And we did just get some more of these. So Clipper Street people, we have some more of these awesome trimmers in stock as well. If you haven't had one, it's great. Okay, so there's our card base. It is 6 1/4 by 10, scored at 5 inches. So there's our 5-inch score on there. And then the paper that I used for this one was the green patterned paper, and it just ties in so nicely with it. So we did the exact same thing as what we did on the trifold. Is again, I cut my piece of white cardstock and matted the green pattern paper. So I'm just going to grab a sheet here of a different one again, because I've already used my green. So my green patterned paper, which is the background here, is cut to 4 1/2 by 5 3/4. So 4 1/2 by 5 3/4. There's our background. Okay, so that's our background piece that is green on my sample. And now we're going to cut a piece of white cardstock. Again, this just gives, to me, is the stability part of it. You can always eliminate it if you don't want to use it. So a piece of white cardstock, 4 5/8 by 5 7/8. So just a tiny little border again. 4 5/8 is just over the 4 1/2. Between 4 1/2 and 4 3/4. There's my white cardstock. And 5 7/8, so just before the 6-inch. Okay, so we just want to glue these together flat. So use your tape runner or your glue, whatever you like to use for your adhesives, your favorite adhesives. And just glue those two pieces there together. There we go. Okay, so that has formed our background. And then I had asked for another piece of the embossed. So this one is forming our background for the little froggies. So just like that, but we have a little bit wider border on it, which is nice, especially with the green piece, because I just think the green tied in so well with the little froggy guys. So I put this one on with foam tape. And it's not matted or anything. You could mat it if you wanted to do a little tiny border with green cardstock or maybe gold Miri or whatever you want to do. You could do that as well. I just kept it simple and did it just directly onto my background piece. Such a fun kit. So many florals, and then you add these kind of fun little elements too, especially the little froggy guys. Okay, so then that's just going to go on the center like that. And then this piece is going to be attached to our card base, again with foam tape, or you could do it flat. Depends on how much of a layer you want to have. I would do it, the one that I did in my sample is with foam tape. I'm just going to put this one on here just for time, but either one you could do. I love getting the dimensions. A lot of my cards I don't mail, so I never have to worry about it. I always put them on a little gift or something like that for somebody. So then it doesn't mean, it doesn't make a lot of, you know, difference to me. And I like to have the popped up. Okay, so then that is all we had to do with that guy. And then the die cuts I had listed in the homework. I will post this, which also adds the different, tells you about the different die cuts that I used, and it also has the dimensions for this card as well. So because we've I'm not taking as much time with it, I wanted to make sure that you had this for afterwards, so then you can go ahead and play and put it together the way that you want to. And again, these might not be the die cuts that you want to play with. So all I did with this one is I kind of started with the biggest element at all, which was this flower one here. And so I kind of decided where I would position that. And I stuck it on flat only because then when I added my froggies, they were the highlight of it. So I used those for my, with the dimensions. So put the foam tape behind the froggies as opposed to having the flower pop up. You could do both if you wanted to. And then I added another one that says always better together. So it has the little foam guy and the little froggies, the little hearts, and just a couple of sprigs, because again, I want to be able to pop this up a little bit and just have it come off the card, especially if I'm not putting it into an envelope. Used another one of the cool and signs and the little hearts. And that was it. One simple gem in the center of my flower was all I did for that one too. So I think this, like I say, I think this kit is amazing. I hope you feel the same way as I do. So that will give you an idea on that. And I will post this, like I say, the little froggy, the dimensions and everything, so you have them afterwards as well. I have also done, and I'm just going to quickly show you this, one inspiration card. And the only reason I really want to show it to you, I will post the dimensions on it, but this was kind of a fun idea that I came up with. Again, these gorgeous die cuts with the little butterflies and the kite. And then I just added a foam guy that says, "Oh, happy day." This background is the Spellbinders Flower Frenzy one. You know me, I use it all the time because I just love, I love playing with this embossing folder. So that's what I used for my background. And then this, I wanted to play with this die, and I'm sure Courtney has it. I don't believe or have it in stock right now, but I'm sure we'll get more. This is the card Deco Stitch Frame 2, it's called. And what I did was I used the second one here, and all I did was die cut it out of the Gold Mary. And I thought, well, I didn't want to use build on it, but I love the idea of having the stitching lines on both sides. So if you can see it, I'll just lift it up a little bit higher for you. And look at that gold. The gold is just amazing. And you get that really nice, the really nice little stitch line on both sides. So all I did was cut my strip of this beautiful paper, the stripe, because it has the gold in it as well, matted it, and then was able to build on that. And I do have instructions for this, and I will send that one out too. But I just wanted to show you this die because a lot of people think about using it in this way, that if you were doing a a card base. You can die cut it and then emboss it. Like, look at how nice that looked. And then this is, of course, Diane, I know, uses these quite a bit. They're a real hunky-dory look of a card. And it can be the inside of it like this, or you can die cut two and score it and make that your card base as well. But I thought, here's a different way of being able to use that amazing stitch line without using the entire die. It just gives you a different look on that as well. So I'm sure we'll get those back in stock, and I will post those for you. I think the only other thing is that just a reminder that, again, Courtney will be doing her live today at 5 p.m. Pacific with an awesome crafty hour as usual. Like I say, I've seen a sneaky peek and it's just amazing. She just does such amazing things. Make sure, and I always remind you this at the end of our time together, is to join Crafty Hour Creations. Post your creations, and it's a great way to get info on our homework and anything else that you may want to add or ask questions. Always make sure that you do that as well. So many of you have joined, and that's just awesome. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, we'll have another Crafty Hour coming up. The new reveal for the next Crafty Hour, the next one after the one that's already been released, number 39, will be revealed tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I have not even seen it yet, so I will be interested in seeing that one with you as well. And again, if anybody wanted to grab another one of the kits from today, awesome value with the embossing folder and all the goodies. We do have a few left here at Clipper Street, and maybe Courtney does as well. So you can always touch base with your store and see if you could grab one of those too. I think that's it for me. I hope you all enjoyed it. We're pretty well on time, which is fantastic. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And again, I will post those, the inspiration card and the instructions for the Froggy Guy. If not today, tomorrow, I will do that for you as well. Okay, I hope you all have a fabulous day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks, bye.